Şimdi bu seneki tema hakikaten dün de vurgulandığı gibi açılış panelinde İslam iktisadının en sıcak tartışma konularından bir tanesi ve bu alanın isimlendirilmesi özellikle finans bağlamında işte biraz da Türkiye'ye özgü şartlardan dolayı işte İslami finans yerine biz alternatif isimlendirmeler kullanıyoruz. Bunlardan biri işte sektör için katılım bankacılığı. Fakat bizim İstanbul Üniversitesi'ndeki dersleri müfredata lisans ve yüksek lisansta baktığımız zaman faizsiz finans, faizsiz finansal sistem, faizsiz finans gibi isimlendirmeler tercih ediliyor. Hakikaten bu da konunun ne kadar merkezde yer aldığını gösteren bir başka konu. Ama burada faizi tek başına bunu doğuran sebeplerden bağımsız, faize götüren olgulardan bağımsız bir şekilde ele alıp tartışmak yerine faize yol açan, bizi faizi kaçınılmaz hale bize bu sonucu sağlayan sistemi sorgulayıp bizi faize götüren olguları öncelikle belki de paralelinde, beraberinde düşünüp tefekkür edip, müzakere edip çözüm yollarını üretmemiz, alternatifler geliştirmemiz icap ediyor ki faizi vazgeçilmez, kaçınılmaz kılan her şeyin önünü öncelikle belki kapatıp zaten faizi bir ihtiyaç olmaktan, bir sorun, bir olgu olmaktan çıkarmaya doğru evrilmesi öncelikle tabii arzu edilen çalışma tarzı olması lazım. Faizin bizim için bir sorun olduğu sonucuna, bilgisine, inancına en başta tabii vahiy bilgisiyle ulaşıyoruz. Doğrudan doğruya Nass'a dayalı bir delilimiz var. Ayet-i Kerime ve onun izahı olan hadislerle. Fakat faizin neden bir sorun olduğunu sadece vahiy bilgisine değil, aynı zamanda akli bilgiyle ele alıp enine boyuna bunun en başta sünnetullah'a neden aykırı olduğu, neden bu evrende kurulmuş olan bu düzene nasıl aykırı bir olgu olduğunu tespit edip ondan sonra topluma, ekonomiye, kültüre, insanın doğasına ne tür olumsuz sonuçları olduğunu da akletmemiz gerekiyor ki bu da hikmet. İşte bugünkü ilk oturumumuzda bu konuya önemli katkılar yapacağını düşündüğümüz iki değerli sunumumuz olacak. Profesör al-Jarhi ve Toseef Azid bize bu faizin ekonomik etkinsizlik ve toplumun üzerindeki olumsuz sonuçlarını yansıtan sunumlar yapacaklar ve İnşallah bu yolda, bu konuda bize yeni bir ufuk açmış olacaklar. Okay, Professor, the floor is yours. You have 20 minutes. The floor is yours. Tefaddal.
Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Elhamdülillahi Rabbil alemin. Vessalatu vesselamu ala eşrafil murselin. Ve kaidil gurril muhaccelin. Seyyidina Muhammedin ve ala alihi ve sahbihi ecma'in. Ve men tebe'un bi ihsan li yevmiddin. Allahümme inna nes'eluke fethan qariben, tayyiben, sehlen, mubinen. Fihi nefhatun min ilmike ve hukmik. Ve qabasun min nurike ve hudak. Ve sa'atun min tevfikike ve sedadik. ورزق من العمل الصالح الخالص لك وحدك لا شريك لك ننفع به الإسلام والمسلمين وننتفع به معهم يا أرحم الراحمين. It is distinguished audience, brothers and sisters, assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. I am trying to show you today two of the most important inefficiencies that are caused by the rate of interest. And also I'd like to show you how Islamic economics or an Islamic economic system would take care of these two efficiencies and eliminate them completely. And in this context, I will also review with you the main features of my model for an Islamic economic system that was published in 1980 and still surviving the passage of time. So the main issue here is that Islamic versus conventional finance. The characteristics of Islamic finance are different. The conventional finance, it's based on the classical loan contract. There are some people who raised yesterday the issue that what is the rate of interest and what is it? It is actually comes from the loan contract that you trade present for future money at a premium. The premium is interest. If there is no premium, it would be qard hasan. But nobody would do that except for charitable purposes. So this is the economist definition of interest. Nothing else can work. The prohibition of riba, and of course the word premium here means riba. That's why, and actually it's a very close meaning. So no trading of present for future money at a premium. This is what prohibition of riba means. It also means that the time preference would be in commodities, but not in money, because money has no intrinsic value. But naturally, we would have time preference for commodities. The finance would be, in Islamic finance, would be given as money in return for equity or rights to share in future business profits or product. We share in profit or product. And future delivery of commodities, that's in the case of salam. And also, we can finance through providing commodities delivered in return for commitment to repay their value at a future date. Of course, these commodities could mean physical or could mean services or use of assets. Transactions types, and this is a very important distinction in economics, although it would be very helpful to use this distinction of transactions types in order to understand the difference between Islamic and conventional finance. We have the first type of transactions is real, and then semi-real and nominal transactions. Now, real transactions would be commodities against money. Semi-real would be one currency against another currency, but without any delay in payment or no deferred payment. And the third would be a monetary asset against cash, or like as in trading debt, or as in trading risk. So only real and semi-real transactions are allowed by Islam. And this actually gives us, this classification of transactions give us a criterion that we can use to see what is haram and what is halal, but it also gives us some signal about the economic effects of each transaction. So nominal transactions are strictly prohibited. Sandwiching a real transaction with two nominal transactions still doesn't make much difference. It would be a ruse or hila. It would be like Jews fishing on Saturday. And of course, Muslims are not supposed to do the same, because the hila is actually worse than the regular violation. Why? Because in regular violation, you know you're violating something, and you know that you're admitting that you're in violation. But in hila, you try to deceive God. So it is double sin here. Deception of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala as well as disobedience of Him. So we do not, so sandwiching a real transaction with two nominal transactions, or sandwiching a nominal transaction with two real transactions is not allowed. Buying a commodity for deferred payment and selling it to its seller, like Eğri, or to a third party, like as in Tawarruq, that would be two real transactions sandwiching a nominal transactions, covering it. So this is some kind of a camouflage. And the ultimate consequence is the sale of present for future money. And if you would ask our distinguished Sharia scholars, they would tell you that an action should be judged by its ultimate consequence. It could be mubah, but if the ultimate consequence is haram, the action would be haram. So we economists agree to that, and we accept that. So nominal transactions would be debt and risk trading present money against an IOU or a debt, and that's debt trading, or trading present money against the uncertain payoff of a gamble. And that's a derivative. That's the exact definition of a derivative. And both debt and risk trade are prohibited in Islamic finance. All three types of transactions are allowed in conventional. In conventional finance, everything goes. So now we know how different we are, and we would like to see an economy which uses money. The current system revolves around the rate of interest, the conventional system. A large amount of debt and risk are traded in national and international markets. And the interesting thing about it that this amount of trading exceeds many times what is happening in the real sector. Until 1930, everybody accepted the capitalist system, and nobody thought there was something wrong with it. The American economy witnessed about 35 crises before the Great Depression. Why I'm giving you this example? Because in order to show you that how tolerant Western economists to the bad natures, to the disadvantages of market capitalism. This tolerance means that they passed through 35 crises until 1930, and they didn't say anything. When 1930 came, everybody was surprised. Why would you surprise? You had it before 35 times. So now, whenever we pass with any crisis in the Western market economies, we always think of when is the next crisis going to be. The Great Depression was confronted by expansionary fiscal policy under the New Deal of Roosevelt, and at that time, some major proposals of reforming the capitalist system came about. The Chicago Plan, presented by Simons and Fisher in 1936, and that would actually revolve around narrow banking and switching to total reserves. Keynesians focused, because Keynesians were part of the system. They were the ones who really designed the New Deal. So they focused on the failure of the banking system to increase credit. But usually banking systems do not increase credit at times of crisis. They do the opposite. So this is part of the Western system. Economists consider the rate of interest as the relative price of present to future money. And since it is a price, it's very important. It plays an important role in the market economy. So you will never find an economist who would propose removing a price. So that's why people, or Western economists, ignored the issue of interest. So, and also our theory, our economic theory, and even monetary theory was developed in the absence of money. There was no reason in our model to hold money. So in order to have this raison d'etre of money, then you must introduce some friction. The most important friction, of course, I'm giving you examples in my article, but the most important friction would be search model. So the search model is a monetary model that gives you justification for holding and using money as a means of exchange. Now these search models, what do they do? In Léon Varras, in his model, the old French or ancient French economist, tried to explain demand and supply in equilibrium through centralized exchange. In other words, all demanders and suppliers would meet in one room, and the auctioneer declares prices until he or she reaches equilibrium price for every and each commodity in the market. In this economy where we have centralized exchange, there is no reason for money. After all, we have somebody to tell us what the equilibrium price is, and we trade at this. Kiyotaki and Wright and also Kucher-Lakota, they structured a frictions model that would, but they found that Asians cannot execute all socially desirable traits, and we will see why, because that's very, very interesting. Buyers and sellers search and they gain information, but one of them benefits if he or she searches more. The benefit cannot be transferred to the other one. So we can see here that because money requires search, or using money requires a friction called searching, and because searching brings in some externality, and this externality cannot be internalized, then actually traders would find themselves not able to internalize, so they will not trade as much as they should under the optimal level. So money, of course, facilitates exchange in asymmetric matches, but the use of money can improve social welfare when you have a single coincidence. But if you have double coincidence, money will not be required. If you and I have the same goods to trade, we don't need money. So the monetary equilibrium would suffer from two inefficiencies here. And this is where the rate of interest comes in. First, as I said yesterday, the Friedman-Samuelson inefficiency. Samuelson article was in 58 and Friedman was in 69. And this means, it simply says that because there is a positive rate of interest, money becomes costly to use in transactions. People would be interested in keeping their money in the bank in order to earn interest and not to use it in transactions. So this positive rate of interest means that people would substitute rare resources for money, and the total output would be suboptimal. And that's the essence of the Friedman's inefficiency. The second type of inefficiency in the presence of the rate of interest is called Hossius type. And this is related to trading. Asians search to improve. Asians, when they search for trade, they're searching improve their partners' matching, but they cannot sell the information they obtain to others. So they cannot internalize such externality, so they make fewer trades than efficient. So the second type of inefficiency is that we're not, in the presence of the rate of interest, we are not trading optimally. We are trading suboptimally. So would Islamic economics and Islamic finance take care of these two efficiencies? Of course, these two efficiencies are of many. In the opening session yesterday, I gave you few other more examples of these efficiencies. But these are some of the important ones. The Friedman's efficiency, in an Islamic economic system, we have no classical loan contract. So we do not sell present for future money. We have 20 contracts that can be grouped under either equity, profit, and product sharing, agency investment, or sale finance. All money issued by the central bank would be placed in central investment deposits with banks or CDC. So this is where my model comes in. Okay, you eliminate the rate of interest, and you have the 20 contracts. What do you do? How do you do with issuing money? You don't lend it to the government. The central bank opens investment accounts with every banks and allocates the newly issued money to these central deposits in banks, so that this would be an investment-based economy and not a lending-based economy. So, and then we also observe total reserves. Of course, I don't have time to explain to you why we should switch from fractional to total reserves. The central bank issues central deposit certificates. And why? Because you see, if you want to carry out monetary policy is carried out through government debt, government bonds. But you need an equity-based, in an Islamic economic system, you need an equity-based financial instrument to use as a tool for monetary policy. So the central bank issued central deposit certificates. It puts the proceeds in central deposits, and these CDCs would be traded in the open market, and monetary policy would be conducted. First of all, either the central bank adds or withdraws from central deposits, or for fine-tuning, it carries out open market operations in CDCs. So the rate of return on CDC or the RCDC becomes the opportunity cost of holding money. Imagine here that we have a rate of return on an equity investment that is done all over the economy with the highest degree of diversification. This rate of return approaches the average rate of return on investment. It approaches the average rate of profit on assets. It approaches the rate of growth of wealth. It means it approaches the real rate of growth. So actually, we, instead of seeking a target of low inflation rate, we equate the rate of monetary expansion to the rate of return on CDCs or RCDC, because it means that we'll be equating the rate of monetary growth with the rate of real growth, which means that we will have no inflation or deflation whatsoever. And that actually shoots right in the heart the idea of monetary policy pursuing little inflation, or the saying that's actually economically wrong, that a little bit of inflation is good for you. It's just like a little bit of liquor, as some Catholics would say, is good for your stomach. This has proven to be incorrect. And we know in Islam that ما أسكر كثيره فقليله حرام. What intoxicates a lot of it a little of it would be prohibited. So we have absolute price stability, and the RCDC here is a rate paid on mudaraba. It is uncertain. It cannot convince people. It cannot give people an incentive to reduce their transactions to a suboptimal level. So we get rid of the we get rid of the of Friedman's inefficiency. As to Hos's on efficiency, the self-finance. See, we banks are providing self-finance. So what banks do when they carry transactions, they do searching, and they try to preserve both the buyer and the seller, because the banks buys commodities from suppliers and sell them to finance users. So the bank merges the interest of both sides. So in this case, the matching possibilities of each partner would be internalized, and we would have the optimal amount of trading in this case, because we have ignored the rate of interest and we used Islamic finance. So banks play a catalytic role in matching buyers and sellers, distributing externalities of improving match opportunities to both sides, so that such externalities can be completely internalized. In equity finance, the participation, of course, people under Hos's inefficiency, people would be doing also less equity finance, less equity participation than optimal. So, but when banks participate in capital subscription of companies and do musharaka, and this is also stresses the role of musharaka in Islamic finance, then people will consider that that the bank has put the required amount of due diligence. So this investment would be free from the lemon problem. So that would encourage people to do more equity and reach the optimal level of equity participation. So the same applies to mudaraba and wakala finance, which means that both types of inefficiencies disappear. So switching from an interest-based finance to Islamic finance would serve two purposes at the same time. First, money would have no positive rate of return, and consequently traders have no incentive to economize on money in transactions, and the value of real balances would reach its optimum. Second, all search externalities would be internalized to trading partners through banks providing Islamic finance. And thank you very much. Wallahu a'lam. Alhamdulillah Rabbil Alamin.
Thanks, Professor. It is really important to open these new windows to redefine the time value of money in finance. I mean, we really need to redefine many concepts, such as time value of money, because the whole finance is based on this concept. So basically, I hope this would be a good contribution to our search for a new benchmark in the economy. I hope this study will provide this. So now I leave the floor to the discussant, Professor Şakir Görmüş.
Selamünaleyküm. Biraz konunun zorluğundan dolayı bir de Türk arkadaş fazla, Türkçe yapacağım inşallah müzakereyi. Şimdi özellikle Profesör al-Jarhi'ye teşekkür etmek istiyorum, Ali al-Jarhi'ye. Çünkü biz faiz konusunu konuşurken hep şunu yapıyorduk. Faizi işte ayetlerden, hadislerden alıyorduk. Neden İslami açıdan yasaklandığını, bütün dinler açısından yasaklı, bunu belirtiyorduk. Sonra işte klasik iktisattan yola çıkarak neden faizin verimsiz olduğundan bahsediyorduk. Burada da yine aynı şekilde faizin neden ekonomi açısından verimsiz olduğu... Sen... Neden verimsiz olduğunu açıklıyorduk. Burada da aynı şekilde işte Samuelson'ın verimsizliğiyle ilgili, Huysman'ın verimsizliğiyle ilgili yine klasik modelden alıntılar var bu konuda. Ve bizim bu konuda faiz konusundaki en büyük eksikliğimiz, evet, biz faizin neden sakıncalı olduğunu biliyoruz. İslami açıdan neden yasaklandığını biliyoruz. Ekonomide yol açtığı tahribatları, her şeyi biliyoruz. Ama bu faiz illetinden kurtulamıyoruz. Bundan kurtulmak için de gerekli olan en önemli şey bizim faizin yerine alternatif enstrümanları geliştirmemiz gerekiyor. İşte burada Profesör al-Jarhi'ye teşekkür etmek istiyorum. Bu bir faizsiz enstrüman, en azından şu anda en basit anlamıyla da olsa daha geliştirmek açısından çok yol kat edilmesi gerekse de bir enstrüman geliştirmesi yolunda bir adım atılmış durumda. Ülkemizde biz tartışırken arkadaşlarla en son şu vardı, bu promosyon olayı vardı. Biraz konu dışına çıkacağım ama müzakereye de geleceğim. Promosyon olayında biz şunu söylüyorduk: bütün insanlar promosyonlarla bankalara alıştırıldı ve faize bulaştırılacak diye. Bu tartışmaları hep yapıyoruz ama şunu hiç biz yapmıyoruz. Yani faizden kurtulmak için bizim faizi yasaklamamız bir çözüm değil. Bunun 1985'lerde Pakistan'da örneği var. Faiz yasaklanıyor. %8 olan faizler tezgah altı faiz olarak %12-15'lere çıkıyor. Bizim yapmamız gereken yeni enstrümanlar bulmak. Burada da Profesör al-Jarhi bir enstrüman geliştirmiş. Biraz önce bundan bahsedeyim. Teknik bir konu, sonra da birkaç tane eleştirimi getireyim. Şimdi burada aslında bizim para politikaları dersinde de diyelim açık piyasa işlemleri dediğimiz işlemlerin reel ekonomiye uyarlanmış bir hali var. Eğer bunu bir benzetme yapacak olursak, bizim para politikasında işte açık piyasa işlemlerinde finans sektörü var. İşin içinde faiz var, hazine bonosu tahvilleri var. Buradaki modelde, direkt olarak modelden giriyorum. Başlangıçta şunu kabul ediyoruz biz: normal ne diyelim borç sertifikaları veya borç işlemleri yok. Bunun yanında biz çeşitli yatırım ve finansla ilgili kontratlar veya anlaşmalar yapıyoruz. İşte bunlar equity dediğimiz hisse senetleri, kar zarar ortaklıkları, yatırımlar veya işte ne diyelim bunu, tüketim finansmanı açısından burada. Burada Merkez Bankası para basmak yerine veya piyasaya para sürmek yerine, eğer yanlış anlamadıysam, bankalara investment dediğim mevduatı denilen bir mevduat koyuyor. Buna biz dedik burada İngilizce olarak central deposit dedik. Burada para yerine central deposit dediğimiz hesaplar açılıyor bankalarda ve bankalar bu hesaplardan işte bu daha önce söylediğimiz hisse senedi, kar zarar ortaklığı, yatırım ve tüketimin finansmanı konusunda ne yapıyor? Mudaraba şeklinde işlemler yapıyor. Burada para yok. Buradaki olayda şöyle bir şey var. Bu güzel bir şey eğer uygulanabilirse. İşin içinde para olmadığı için buradaki ne diyelim borç işlemleri, faize dayalı işlemler yok. Bunun yanında reel ekonomiye katkı sağlayacak mal alım satımıyla ilgili işlemler var şey olarak. Şimdi burada Merkez Bankası yine ne diyoruz buna? Merkezi mevduat sertifikası denilen bir sertifika geliştiriyor yeni bir şey olarak. Bu aslında bu sertifikayla da alım satım yaparak para arzını ne yapabiliyor diyelim kontrol edebiliyoruz veya para politikası geliştirebiliyor buradan anladığımız kadarıyla. İşte para politikasını buradan uygulayabiliyor. Burada merkezi sertifika, merkezi mevduat sertifikasının değeri nasıl belirlenecek? Ortada bir faiz yoksa eğer bunun bir kullanım bedelinin olması gerekiyor. Bunu da zaten biz burada bankadaki yatırım hesaplarından işte mudaraba yaptığımız için ekonomiye endeksli olacak. Ekonomideki söylediği veya buradan anladığımız kadarıyla yine şey yaparak ekonominin büyüme oranına, reel büyüme oranına endeksli aslında bu merkezi mevduat sertifikasının bir getirisi olacak şey olarak. Burada modelin şeyi bu. Sonuçta bir sertifika var. Merkez Bankası'nın bu mudarabaya dayalı işlemler yapılıyor. Bu işlemlerin sonucunda da bir getiri elde edilecek. Bu getiri de reel ekonominin büyümesine orantılı olacak şey olarak. Şimdi benim anladığım kadarıyla burada önerilen model bu. Bu modelin en büyük şeyi olarak da burada bir borç alışverişinden, parasal bir borç alışverişinden daha çok reel ekonomiye dayalı mudaraba işlemlerinin olduğunu görüyoruz. Şimdi burada şey olarak işlemlere baktığımız zaman tabii bunun uygulamaya geçildiği zaman şunu şey yapabiliriz. Bir, biz parayı tamamen sistemden çekeceğiz mi? Bunu bir belirlememiz gerekiyor. İki, buradaki Central Deposit Certificate dediğimizin bunun getirisinin biz reel büyümeye endeksli olduğunu söyledik ama bu nasıl belirlenecek? Yani reel büyümeye göre nasıl belirleyeceğiz? Bunlar alınıp satılırken ülkenin reel büyüme oranına göre mi belirlenecek? Bu nasıl olacak? Bunların açıklanması gerekiyor sistemin işleyişiyle ilgili. Ben şöyle bir şey yapabilirim, yani önerebilirim. Keşke bunu bir model veya bir örnek üzerinden eğer açıklayabilseydik. Hani işte şu kadar biz parası olarak işte ne diyelim investment account dediğimiz yatırım mevduatı açıyoruz. İşte 1 milyar TL'lik şu bu. Bunun karşısında Merkez Bankası işte şöyle işlemler yapıyor. Ekonominin reel büyüme oranı şu şekildedir. Sertifikada şu kadar. Bunu sayısal olarak bir modelleyip örnekleyebilirseydik bizim için anlamamız daha kolay olabilirdi. Şu anda biz kafamızda, açıkçası ben kafamda bir şey oluşturdum. Ama sistemin nasıl işleyeceğini sayısal olarak bir gösterebilseydik bizim için çok daha açıklayıcı olabilirdi. Bunun yanında evet biz bu sistemi biliyoruz. Bu iki tane bizim verimsizlik dediğimiz Samuelson'ın ve Hoyser'ın verimsizliğini eğer işleyebilirse giderici etkisi var. Ama her zaman şunu söylüyorum ben. Bunun uygulanabilirliğinin model olarak ortaya konulması gerekiyor. Model olarak. Çünkü biz bir model veya böyle bir şey yazdığımız zaman gerçek hayata döktüğümüz zaman bunun tıkandığı noktaları görmemiz gerekiyor. Daha önce de söyledim, biz işte Pakistan'da 1985'te faizler yasaklandı. Yani bir kanunla yasaklandı. Kanunlar yasaklandıktan sonra bütün bankalar faiz uygulamıyor. Onun yerine işte markup price dediğimiz bizim faize yakın bir fiyat, hatta tezgah altında faizden yüksek bir faiz ortaya çıkıyor şey olarak. Burada benim söyleyeceğim bu modelin daha örnekle açıklanması gerekiyor. Bu şekliyle bir model olma açısından, uygulamaya götürme açısından bence çok büyük ve önemli bir çalışma. Faizsiz finans konusunda önemli bir katkı sağlayabilir. En azından bir çözüm önerisi sunuyor. Bizim için de en önemli şey zaten çözüm önerisi. Ama bunun uygulanabilirliği konusunda daha fazla bu çalışmanın, bu makalenin ilerleme kaydetmesi gerektiğini düşünüyorum ben. Söyleyeceklerim bu kadar. Teşekkür ediyorum.
Evet, teşekkür ederiz Şakir hocamız. Bu anlamda belki hakikaten oldukça ileri iktisadi analizleri gerektiren bir sunumdu Profesör Jarhi'nin. Şakir hocamız belki tam oturmamış, açıklamamış o konuda vuzuha kavuşturmuş oldu. If you have any comments on this floor is yours.
Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Elhamdülillah ve salatu ve selamu ala Resulillah. Well, you see, the model is, of course, is quite detailed, and of course, all the points that have been raised by our distinguished commentator here are quite valid. I accept them, but they fall into one category: more explanation and more examples. And of course, even we need practical examples for the Hos's inefficiency and Friedman's inefficiency. We cannot really present more details here, unfortunately. If you have any time after the session, I am available. My lecture notes include all of this, include also a plan of converting a conventional economic system into an Islamic economic system, a gradual, reasonable. This idea came through when, during the Pakistani problem, I was working with the Islamic Development Bank, and I had the honor of going there and giving a presentation to the Supreme Court, the Sharia circle at that time, and tried to explain to them that the implementation of an Islamic economic system cannot be done through the prohibition of interest alone. You have to have an institutional structure. And the institutional structure is here, but it takes time to implement it. You have to make a plan for 2 or 3 years to move from one case to another. So it is not really something that you that you take lightly, converting one economic system to another, all of a sudden either does not work or will lead to catastrophes until the economy adjusts itself. The example for that would be the Soviet Union switching from socialism to capitalism in one day. And that led to so many problems and so much losses, which were totally unnecessary had there been a plan for gradual application. And remember, you see, gradualism is part of our Islamic approach. So many prohibitions of things which were so ingrained inside the Arab society, the pre-Islamic Arabic society, like liquor and like gambling, and like also interest, took time, and Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala made His instructions coming at stages. So there should be stages, but I will just answer one small technical problem, which of course takes a long time for me, and when in teaching my class of Islamic economics. That's how the RCDC, the rate of return on central deposits certificates, how can it approach or be a good estimate of real rate of growth? This is very crucial, because this is going to be the anchor of the economy. Now remember, the anchor of the economic system, in the conventional economic system, is the rate of interest. It is not market demand determined. It's an administered price. The central bank sets the rate. And we always talk about whether the central bank wants to raise the rate or reduce the rate, and all of the interest rate expectations go along that. And people trading in financial markets, especially in debt and risk markets, do not consider at all the fundamentals. They consider how about the other guy? What is the other guy doing? This is what Keynes talked about, and this is what we call the herd effect. Everybody trying to predict what the herd, or which direction the herd is going, so that you can go instead of being stepped on. But in an equity model, like an equity instrument like that, people will be handling it and trading in it on the basis of fundamentals. Which bank, which investment sectors, what are the profitability, how the economy is moving, and so on. So because trading is done on fundamentals, that's why the rate that we get from trading would be what we expect the economy to achieve. And this achievement is nothing but growth. So of course we can make mistakes in the market, in the CDC market, but these mistakes can be easily corrected, and it will be reflected on the divergence between the rate of monetary expansion and the rate of return on central deposits. And the central bank can work out a method to adjust its monetary expansion or contraction to that rate. So there are ways for midway or midway adjustments, like when you sending a rocket to the moon, and of course it will not go right away in the right direction. You have to keep adjusting it so that it would go to the moon and not where else. Thank you very much, Mr. Chair.
Thanks, Professor. Now I'll open the Q&A and comments and questions session. But being the moderator, so I'll take the advantage of making the first comment and the question briefly. Of course, I mean, all we do is try to convert the time value of money, or the rate of return, from an artificial concept to a natural concept. So the time value of money in Islamic economics is something natural. not artificial or determined. Unfortunately, today the theory of some the textbooks explain the interest rate within the market mechanism. It's the basic explanation of the interest. They say it is the result of the market mechanism, but it is not. As Professor indicated, it is determined by the central banks. Plus, it is used the price of risk. Who determines the risk? For instance, take the rating agencies. Can we rely on them? Do you think they are really are they just in their valuation? No, nobody can say that. Yeah, unfortunately, inshallah, these ideas will take place in the practical world. But I'll ask Professor to answer brief because this explanation. You mentioned the time preference in commodity. Can you a little bit elaborate this concept? Because in the money context, time preference in money, for instance, I'll lend you $1 today in exchange for $2 tomorrow. If I lend you if I lend you one apple today, can I ask you to give me 2 apples tomorrow?
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Actually, the time preference is inevitable because we do not live forever. Because of the fact that mankind is mortal, so consumption today, things today are more certain than things tomorrow. This is inevitable. So, but it would be very strange to reduce time preference of people into money, because money, we have fiat money. It has no intrinsic value. You cannot consume it. It has it gives you, as economists or neoclassical economists would say, no utility whatsoever. So, but how about the time value in commodities? How is it reflected? It's reflected by what is the price of a car today. If you want to pay in cash, you would pay maybe 50,000 liras. Okay, is that right? So 50,000 liras. But you want to pay in 1 year, so it will going to be 55,000 or 56,000. Okay, so the time value in commodities means that there would be a premium for payment today, and there would be an extra price or an increase in the price for being able for the deferring payment for a year or 2 or so. So, and that was allowed by the Sharia scholars, and this is reflected in Murabaha and Bay' Bisaman Ajil and Salam. And that's actually when we have competition in the market, the competition between buyers and also the competition between sellers will produce rates of time preference for every commodity. That would represent something that is more real and has more implications on the commodity sector or the real sector than what we have now. Thank you.
Thank you. Evet, şimdi eğer dinleyicilerimizden soru veya yorum varsa, if you have any comment or question, briefly, actually we are out of time. Okay, there is one comment from Professor Şakir.
Okay. As I said before, as an economist, it is important for me to find the solution to the problem instead of just put the current picture. So for this reason, I said before, this study is very valuable because these studies put some alternative system for the interest. So here there is too many the graduate students, and I think these graduate students can study on this model, and they can improve and they develop to this model. Unfortunately, like the in the world, there is no Islamic economics right now, and we cannot apply this is our difficulty. Thanks, sir.
Okay, now if there is no question, we move to the second presenter, Professor Toseef Azid. Okay, Professor Azid, the floor is yours.
When Wright brothers, they have their new invention, they have the aeroplane, and the people from the area, they invited two of them, and they celebrated that. And they asked to the younger brother, come and say something. And younger brother said, I'm not able to say anything because I'm not a good speaker. My brother will come and he will say. When they asked to the elder brother, he said, what I want to say, already my younger brother has said that. The same is with me. What I want to say, that brother Mabid al-Jarhi, he said all the things. And when he was saying something, I'm deleting my slides. So nothing is in my hands. So... But I am a teacher, so always when teacher has a rostrum or the board, he has to say something. So my topic is, now I have changed that a bit, interest, market, philanthropy and efficiency and Islamic approach. And one of my student, Dr. Azim Qureshi, is here. He's also my co-author. He's a associate professor in Oslo Business School, Norway. And one of other, Osama al-Rawashda, is also my colleague in Qassim University, Saudi Arabia. So, as I told you that Brother Mabid didn't left for me anything, but I have to say, so I'm not going more of the technicalities because he has explained those. So my more emphasis on the social aspects of the interest. Okay, what is the impact on the market? Why philanthropy? And when we say the philanthropy and market, we are based on that verse of Quran. Quran says, Yahma ko riba wa yurbis sadaqat. So this is a complementary set. On the one side, there is no interest. Other side, if there is no interest, then what is that? There is the philanthropy sadaqat. When interest is closing all the activities, then sadaqat is flourishing the activities, economic activities, and as well as social activities. At the beginning, I am just taking an example instead of the mode of the technicalities. This is an example from the India. There was microfinance, and generally we know that microfinance is helping for the poor, is reducing the poverty, is elevating the poverty, is flourishing the economic conditions of the poor people. But this is an example from the India that there is a microfinance. So if you will see this slide, there are 4 comments. Turn the working class into people who are permanently in debt, running to catch up with their lifestyles. The first point. Then microfinance companies in India are responsible for hundreds of suicides. And 200 people in Andhra Pradesh in 2010 alone committed suicide because of interest. A national daily recently published suicide note by an 18-year-old girl who was forced to hand over her last ₹150, her school fees, to bullying employees of the microfinance company. And this is the result. So due to interest, you can see that. What we are saying in the microfinance companies, those are based on the rate, on interest, and not on mudarba, musharaka, and joint ventures. And as I said in the beginning, Yahma ko riba wa yurbis sadaqat. If we are not following that part of the verse of Quran, if just interest and what interest does, you can see that it creates the selfishness, brutalness, cruelty, and so on. And this is the result. Work hard and earn money. Do not take loans, because as Brother Mabid al-Jarhi said that in Islam there is a qard-e hasana, benevolence. This is not qard on rate of interest. And when you are taking the rate of qard on loan on the rate of interest, And that is just money is creating the money. When money is creating the money, this is the result. The important of role of banks, you know that what they are doing, they are generating the economic activity. They are responsible for the payment system and they provide safe place for people to deposit their savings. This up till this point it is okay. When they are charging the rate of interest, then the consequences are there, the bad consequences are there. But this is not the new story. Interest in the different religions, if we will starting from the Hinduism, Buddhism, Christianity, Judaism, and Islam, and even the Greek philosophers, all are against the rate of interest. But they are saying interest is not good, unjust and unproductive. If you will see the Aristotle, his book is Politics, a number of places he said that it is unproductive, it is unjust, and this is just like a murder. So he is not appreciating, even he is not a religious scholar, but he is a philosopher and he is not appreciating the interest. So in spite of its negative impact of the socio-economic structure, it persists in the business and economic markets. So this is again, there is a dichotomy. There is a what you can say, two sides of the story. On the one side, philosophers, religious scholars, and most of the reformers, they are against the rate of interest. They are against the interest. But on the other side, from the whenever we will see in the history, whatever the records we have, interest is always there. However, after the financial crisis of 2008, it is realized that every sector of the life, that interest and both are curse for the society and the economy. So now again, people are thinking about that. Why interest? Why not without interest? So this is some historical facts that according to Aristotle, interest is unnatural and unjust. He believed that money cannot create money because it is unproductive. That we are not saying. As nowadays, as a student of Islamic economics, we are saying that money does not create money and money is unproductive and so on. This is not a new story. If you will see that this is the Greek philosopher Aristotle said, interest is unnatural and unjust, and money cannot create money because it is unproductive. Because of the role of Jews as moneylenders, King Edward expelled them from England at the end of the 13th century. Again, if you will see that, generally, historically, Jews are always involved in the business of money lending. And due to this money lending, there was a lot of problems in 13th century. So King Edward expelled them from because there's a lot of bad effects on the economic activities. So Jews were expelled from England. During the 13th century, intellectuals and scholars were trying to find the ways of the permission of usury. Always, as I told you, always on the one side, people are against scholars, especially religious scholars and philosophers. But on the other side, the traders, money lenders, always they are insisting, they are emphasizing that interest is compulsory for the economic activities. So intellectuals, scholars, on the other side, they are trying to prove it. Without it, it is not possible for the growth of the economy. However, according to church, until the 16th century, usury is immoral and unproductive. Again, they have another issue. What is usury and what is interest? Always there is a conflict among the different scholars. Interest is allowed, is a fair, where usury is not allowed. But they are saying interest is the value of money, interest is the time for that, and so on. A number of things which is explained by Brother Mabid al-Jarhi. But in relation to modern financial transaction, it is well known that modern conventional banking is based on the charging of interest on capital, which is unanimously agreed by jurists as a form of riba. Riba, from the perspective of Orientalists, riba is permissible as it is permitted on the potential economic benefits then can be generated from it, such as its opportunity cost. It is known as the price of renting out of money. So what they are saying, usury is okay, it is haram. it is not allowed. But interest is allowed because this is the renting out of the money, so it is permissible. Without interest, it is not possible for us to grow our economy. It is not possible for us to involve in the trading and the economic activities. So riba is impermissible. But on the other side, again, as I told you, always two schools of thoughts are there. Before Islam even, the religious scholars and the moral philosophers, they are against the interest because they know what are the impact on the society as well as on the economy. And also on the equity and income distribution. So riba is impermissible as it violates the primary purpose function of money as a medium of exchange. Islamic economists and modernists, the alternative view which consider riba to be permissible is premised on the potential economic benefit that can be generated from it, such as the opportunity cost. So some of the Islamic economists, they are also in the favor of that, and they are saying, especially in India and Pakistan, very famous scholar Sayyid Ahmad, he said that usury is haram, but interest is not haram for the economic speed of the economic activities. Then we have a different categorization of riba. So there's no need to say that the riba al-misal, riba al-fadl, and so on. So objection on riba by Sharia scholars, among the main and the clearest objection to riba as explained by Sharia scholars is that riba is considered as unearned income, as entails taking someone's property. If you will emphasize on this point, it entails taking someone's property without any counter value. And then again, this is all I have done it. This is the Minsky. You know, Minsky was a very prominent scholar, and he was always against the riba, interest, and as well as the we have a huge amount of debt. But nobody was listening to him, and he was crying always, what I am saying, it is correct, it is correct. And ultimately, now they realized that the Minsky moments are there. But when he was died, then they realized that he was right. As I told you that one side, riba and interest and its impacts, and it is monetary and fiscal expansionary policy and so on, has already discussed by Brother Mabid. So I will not discussing all these things. My point is, why charity? Why sadaqat? When we are saying, yahmako riba wa yurbi sadaqat, so why sadaqat is then? And what is the conventional point of view about that? So what is the basis of Islamic system? The charity is the cause of growth, whereas interest has a negative impact on the economic activities. Yahmako riba wa yurbi sadaqat. And Allah has permitted trade and has forbidden rate of interest. Ahlul bi'a wa yurbi ahlul bi'a wa haramur riba. So the Islamic economic system is based on these two injunctions. The one is trade is permitted and interest is not permitted, is not allowed. Whereas riba is whenever there is riba, that will reduce the economic activities, and whenever there is a sadaqat, those will increase the economic activities. So in Islam, when we are saying philanthropy, what does it mean? Philanthropy means the art of giving back. It is not that always someone is taking the philanthropy, sadaqat. If you remember the very famous story of Prophet ﷺ, a person came to him that I am very poor, I haven't anything. Prophet asked him, what you have? He said, I have one blanket and one just a bowl of which from where I am using to eating my food and so on. Then Prophet ﷺ said, sell it and take an axe and then go to the forest and cut the wood and bring that in the market and then sell it in the market, and then you can earn the money. And I don't want to see the sign of begging in the front of any Muslim. So philanthropy in Islam, it doesn't mean that just to have taking it. Actually, this is the training. When you haven't anything and you are taking the sadaqat and this charity, then you will be able to give it back to the someone else. This is a continuous process. So when we are saying Yamaku riba wa yurbi sadaqat, so sadaqat, charity, is the main cause for the growth of the economic activity. So the main objective of the donations is to develop the social, human, psychological and religious capital that will enhance the productivity and efficiency of the community. I will discuss later on that how these moral actions, when we are creating the moral economy, not the conventional economy. And what is the moral economy where always everything is not based on the selfishness, not based on the greediness, that is based on the honesty, based on the brotherhood, and based on the love to each another. So philanthropy is a tool to mitigate the pitfalls of the market and a helping hand to promote virtuous cycle of market mechanism. Generally, if you know that the most promoter of the market is Hayek, the Nobel Prize holder. And always he is saying, through the market, you can support the economy. Through the market, you can support the society. Through the market, you can promote the community. If there is no market, then if there is a philanthropy, then there is a problem. Because we are generally, according to his view, we are giving the philanthropy to known, not to unknown. And market is neutral. Market is not considering this is known or unknown. So it is better to serve thousands of unknown than to serve just the known, and benefit should be beyond our knowledge. This is the Hayek. Hayek is not in the favor of philanthropy. He is in the favor of market mechanism. Demand and supply forces will work, and ultimately people will get the benefit from the market activities. And according to him, these direct giving and the altruistic actions are not able to cover the whole community, whereas earning a living in a well-functioning market provides a great benefit to the great society. So his emphasis on the great society, not to the unknown. So if you will see this diagram, it's very interesting. It will tell us, it will guide us how market works, how market is treating. For a fair selection, everybody has to take the same exam. Please climb that tree. There is an elephant, there is a dog, there is a fish, there is a monkey, there is a penguin. Number of things are there. So how it is possible, as Hayek is saying, we are treating everyone in the market on the same scale? It is not possible. When Quran says, Yamaku riba ve yurbi sadaqat, so it means this interest is a market phenomenon. So market is not willing to help to the people. And market is not treating according to the efficiencies, according to the abilities, and according to the needs of the people. So what is the function of the private sector? Private sector just provided the jobs? Again, not. Sadaqat is there, the charity. When we say the corporate social responsibility, so corporate social responsibility is not the new thing. All of the religions are in the favor of that the corporate sector and the business sector and the private sector, they have to help the people, just not to earn the interest from the others, and not to pay the interest. So when we are saying corporate social responsibility is, according to Islamic point of view, pay the zakat and avoid the interest. You can see that this is a one organization. There is a tap of water and water is running. So how much is the share everyone is taking? Owner is taking the income. Then there is a MD, then GM, then manager, and ultimately their employees, they have just some few drops of water. If there is if there is a selfishness, if there is a not honesty, if there is a not brotherhood, then we are not able to promote and develop the society and the community. So the way capitalists helping the others, you can see that what they are saying, attention, if you are the ship's captain, it's investors and manufacturers where we are here to rescue you. So when we are doing with the business with the interest, the capitalist is saying, we are here, we are providing you. If you need the loan, we are here. If your business is sinking, don't be afraid. Don't be desperate. We are here. We can give you. But when they are giving, what is happening? People are sinking in the river. They are dying. As I given the example in the beginning, when the microfinance people are coming to the poor people and they ask to them, we are here, what do you need? We are helping you. Ultimately, they are committing suicide. The same is here. So philanthropy is complementary as Poland is a double movement. On the one side, if capitalists and all those people, those are selfish, they are doing that, then according to Hague, market is working properly. So market is not working. So according to Polanese, then we have to help them. There's maybe through the government or through the private sector. So we have a intangible capital through philanthropy, as this is a response from the Hague, a response of the Hague that why market is not good, because when we have the sadaqat, we have the charity, then we have a different types of capital, intangible capital, which are ultimately increasing the economic activities of the, because you know that when there is a capital is increasing, is for the production of the goods. So we have a time.
Sorry, almost. Yes, time is up.
2 minutes.
Okay, 2 minutes.
So we have a religious capital, psychological capital, social capital, and a human capital. So I am not taking too much time for these. So just these are the commercial banks, government, and rich segment of the society. The government lies, the bank steals, the rich laughs. This is the rate of interest which we have. The government always, the conventional government, not the Islamic one, they are telling lie with the people. We are doing this, we are doing this. That they are not doing anything. And banks are stealing the money of the poor people. And then rich are laughing in the private meetings. What we have been done. And it is happening in the capitalist world. These are banks and government. We are sell bond to you so we can bail you out with loans. And this was happened in 2008 and 2009. So then we have to make a difference. We have to help the poor. Not emphasize on the interest, but we have to not become selfish. Just I'm skipping that illustration which I have. If there is a question, then I will explain that. But we are not desperated. If you see this on the Wall Street, this woman is saying, let's bang the Muslim way. Even the non-Muslims, they are demanding for the Islamic financing and Islamic whatever the product we have. Time is short. And I'm also, as I told you that I am not able to say anything. So Jazakumullah khair. Thank you.
Thank you, Professor Azid. It was a really, I think we benefited from this presentation. I was going to say, I still remember the crowds. They were, protesting in the Wall Street after the 2008 crisis. I remember the young college student, protesting against this fractional reserve banking. But this is the same, I think, scene. I think this picture is taken in this protest, during this protest, I think. Yeah, Professor Azid also, make the point that we have an illusion. This microfinance, it is an attempt to serve the poor, but it is an illusion. As long as the interest exists, even a very low level, it becomes a really dangerous tool, even to kill people. Okay, now the paper will be discussed by Taha Eğri, and I leave the floor to him.
Teşekkür ediyorum. Müsaade ederseniz ben de Türkçe devam etmek istiyorum. Bugün öncelikli olarak açıkçası tartışmaların tabii oturumun son tartışması. Profesör Azid gayet detaylı bir sunumla kendi paper'ını özetlemiş oldu. Birkaç ek paper'da olmayan açıkçası tanımları da yer aldığını gördüm sunumda. Metnin dışında bazı eklemeler de burada var. Şimdi açıkçası metinle belki ileride kendisine ekleme yapması için son modüle de geleceğim. Metindeki faiz meselesinin tüm dinlerden yola çıkarak faizin yasaklığına değiniyor ve faizin yasaklığının yerine özellikle İslam'da önerilen katılım, ortaklık yapısının aslında bunun model olarak iyi bir model olduğunu belirtiyor Azid. Şu anki yapılan zaten bizim İslami finans kurumlarının birçoğunda baktığımızda bu gelişmesi, hızlı bir şekilde gelişmesi, özellikle İslam dünyasındaki sermaye birikili de bu katılım ortaklık yapısında ihtiyaçla bir ortaya çıkışını gösteriyor ama hala tam manasıyla hak ettiği yerini bulduğunu söylemek de zor. Belki bunun işte piyasa içerisindeki verimliliği veya sermaye birikimindeki eksiklikten mi kaynaklandığını tam olarak bilmemekle beraber bu ortaklık yapısı henüz tam olarak faize alternatif bir şekilde piyasanın tamamına erişebilmiş değil. Bununla ilgili biraz daha belki tartışmak gerekiyor. Metinde kendisinin belirtmediği ama metinde yer alan bir eleştiri belki burada belirtmek lazım. Özellikle İslami finans kurumlarının şeriat temelli ürünler olarak geliştirdiği bu finansal araçların karşısında yer alan klasik araçların birebir benzeri olarak hayata geçirilmesinin ve bunun da işte sistemin bir anda değiştirilmesi yerine bu gradually değişmesi eleştirisini getiriyor aslında metinde. Belki kendisinin bunu aşması da iyi olacak gibi duruyor. Yani İslami finans kurumlarına getirmiş olduğu eleştiriden dolayı. Şimdi genel metnin temel vurgu noktasına gelecek olursak bu bağış, philanthropy hususunda kendisinin merkeze aldığı finansal sistem yerine oluşturmuş olduğu bu filantropinin ben açıkçası tam olarak metinde tam manasıyla nasıl bir model oturuşması gerektiğini göremedim. Yani filantropi sosyal politika aracı olarak toplumda belli yoksulluğun giderilmesi veya gelir eşitsizliğinin adaletsizliğinin düzeltilmesi açısından belirli bir araca dönüştürülebilir ama özellikle üretim yapısı ve piyasa yapısı içerisinde üretim ilişkilerinin düzenlenmesinde modern sistemde faizin yerine filantropinin nasıl konabileceği hususu açıkçası model olarak biraz paper'da eksik gibi geldi bana. Özellikle filantropi meselesinin direkt olarak faizin alternatif olarak değil de dolaylı olarak işte human capital, onun altında da religious capital, psychological capital olarak belirttiği hususlarda filantropinin bu insani gelişimi sağlaması, insani gelişimlerle birlikte bu insani gelişimin daha mutlu ve verimli insanın piyasadaki üretime katkısının artacağından dolayı büyümeye katkı sağlayacağını iddia ediyor metin. Bu hususta sanırım şu an için baktığımızda modern işletme teorisi içerisinde de özellikle insan kaynaklarının geliştirilmesi açısından belirli çalışmalar yapıldığı görülüyor. Yani iş yeri ortamının düzenlenmesi, onların verimliliğinin yapılması hususunda. Bunun farklılıkları, benzerlikleri hususunda da belki biraz daha atıf olsa iyi olacağını kanaatindeyim. Özellikle filantropi meselesi finansal piyasaların düzenlenmesi açısından risk taşıyan bir husus. Daha önceki sunumlarda dinlediğim sunumlardan bir tanesi özellikle Türkiye'deki katılım bankalarının kar zarar ortaklığı hususunda şirketlerin yanlış beyanları veya iflasları sonucunda yönetilemez hale geldikten sonra kar zarar ortaklığı yerine leasing hususu, yani daha sermaye ortaklığı yerine borç vermeye dayalı bir geçiş aslında sistemin risklerinin de giderek artmasına yol açıyor. Yani siz baktığınızda bugün faizi kaldırıp kar zarar ortaklığını getirseniz de İslami finans kurumlarının ne kadar risk alabileceklerini veya bu risklere karşı ne tür önlemler geliştirebileceğine dair henüz elimizde net model öneri yok. Yani Minsky Moment meselesinde baktığımızda ben açıkçası tam olarak tüm literatürünü yani Minsky'yi okumadığım için iddialı bir eleştiri yapmış olmak istemiyorum ama sanki onun belirtmiş olduğu şey borcun büyümesi ve borca dayalı sistemin giderek şişmesi ekonomik krizin doğmasına sebep oluyor. Faizi tamamen ortadan kaldırmanın bir alternatif olduğunu söylüyor mu, yoksa borcu kontrol etmenin, yani o kontrolsüz Amerikan finansal sisteminin kontrolsüz borç verişini, herkese borca boğmasını mı kontrol etmesi gerektiğini? Çünkü bu şunu getiriyor. Yani biz şu an küçük kar payları da olsa tüm Müslümanları İslami şeriata uygun finansal araçlarla borca boğduğumuz zaman, sizin de Hindistan örneğinde verdiğiniz gibi bu aynı şekilde tüm Müslümanları da aynı risk içerisine almaz mı? Borç büyüyerek bütün Müslümanlar da sistem içine dahil ederek bu riski artırmaz mı? Çünkü diğer taraftan baktığımızda yani finansal sistemde bankalar battığında onları kurtaran bir hükümet sisteminden bahsediyoruz ama İslami finans sektörünün bu şekilde önlemsiz olarak büyümesi veya diyelim büyümesi sonucunda herhangi bir reel sektör krizinin, küçük orta ve yani KOBİ'lerin batmasıyla birlikte bunun finansal sektöre geçişi ve toplumda daha yaygın bir hale gelmesi riski de biraz bu noktada söz konusu. Son olarak yani İslami finans kurumları batarsa biz ne yapacağız gibi bir soru belki burada ortaya çıkıyor. Son olarak bir de Philanthropy meselesinde sürdürülebilirlik konusu benim aklıma takılan bir husus. Yani zekat belirli bir miktar karşılıyor. Eğer sermaye, zaten işleyen sermayenin dışındaki kalan miktara zekat düştüğünü düşünürsek ve siz eğer o sermaye büyümediği takdirde zekat oranlarda yıldan yıla düşeceğinden dolayı fakirlere, yoksullara yapacak bu filantropinin sürdürülebilirliğinin nasıl sağlanması gerekiyor hususunda sorup tamamlamış olayım. Ben kendisine sunumu için teşekkür ediyorum. Kendisinin anlatmasının ötesinde benim anlayış kabiliyetimle sınırlı olduğunu da bu hususta belirtmem lazım. Eğer herhangi bir sürçülisan ettiysem affola.
Teşekkür ederiz Taha Bey. Okay, if you have a comment on this discuss.
Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Thank you, brother. The one thing is which I want to explain, that is Islamic financial banks and the philanthropy. There was one paper which me and again Azim Qureshi we presented in the Mecca conference. And what was that? That is the solution is venture philanthropy. That our banks, the people will deposit the philanthropy in the banks, and then banks will use those philanthropy for the mudarba, mushawarka, that, and also providing the training programs for the poor people, for their increasing their skill and their technical expertise. So this is these banks are just not for the earning the money, these Islamic financial banks, because Maqsad al-Sharia is different. The Maqsad al-Sharia is to help the society, to increase the social welfare. So these Islamic banks, they can do it when we are depositing our philanthropy, zakat and charities into the bank, and then bank will provide training, provide help, and they will establish some institutions, manufacturing institution, which will hire these people, and then they can give the employment and so on. Due to that reason, when we have this model, whenever there is a philanthropy, first of all, it is creating the religious or moral capital. This religious and moral capital automatically increase, because when someone is taking and someone is giving, this philanthropy automatically their generosity is increasing. Brotherhood is increasing, friendship and the relationship in between the society, the members of the society and the community will increase. And later on, when we have this philanthropy and the people, as I gave the example of one of the Sahabi, he came to Prophet ﷺ and he told his story, and the Prophet asked him to sell your whatever you have and go to the forest and then cut the woods and then sell in the market. So it means when we have this type of things and when the society is going on that way, then human capital as well as social capital is increasing. When all these capital are increasing, then on the one side we have a tangible capital, that is traditional capital. On the other side we have intangible. And intangible in terms of moral capital, in terms of social and human capital, then automatically the productivity, the level of productivity will increase in the economy. And the role of financial banks is, as I told you, the venture philanthropy. And whereas I have given this model, if you will see that, where is that? So there is one model which is I have taken from my own thesis, that is the input-output analysis. And there, what is the difference? We have on one side we have the price of the output, other side we have the average variable cost per unit. When we have the variable cost per unit, and if this interest is not there, this part, this is not there because we are paying the interest, then only two things are there: wages and as well as the price of the products or inputs which we are using. Then you can see the cost will reduce. And when the cost will reduce, then there is least chances for the different existing technology to live in the market. They are not becoming obsolete. And then there is not wastage of too much resources as we have nowadays in the capital economies. Whenever then any economy is becoming obsolete, all the material which they have, they are going to be obsolete, and their people are not just, they will fetch their scrap value. So when there is no interest, you can see in this model, just we have a pay to wages to the laborers and the price of the inputs which we are using. And then if it is based on the partnership, still we are saying that the partnership is not very much popular in the Islamic financial system. Even then in the industrial sector, if this is basically the example of the manufacturing sector. So if we have a partnership, in the partnership you can see that with the Madarba or Masharika, then if there is a loss, they will not get anything and they will lose their capital. If there is a profit, they will have the share in the capital. But in the cost of interest is not there. In that way, the variable cost will decrease. When the variable cost will decrease, then there is at least chances for the existing technology to become obsolete. So, Jazakumullah khair. I don't know. It is okay or not?
Okay. It seems that we have to actual problem here. We have to create a new human being as we have to construct a new human being as an economic agent. But this is a long-term plan. But in the short term, we need we need to redesign the system in the institutional level. So the burden is on the regulators here. And I'm happy to hear that yesterday the president of the Banking Regulating Agency told that we are working on a new banking models. Inshallah, we will be having more just or compatible, more new banking institutions which are more compatible with this Maqasid Sharia. Okay, now I open the floor to questions and answers and comments. If you have any questions or comments to professors, yes.
If there is any technical, then ask to Brother Mabid.
Assalamu alaikum. First, I want to thank for both the discussant and Mr. Toseef Azid. But I just want to ask an important question. If I don't understand wrongly, you build the economic growth on the philanthropic activities rather than interest. But I just wonder that to what extent to build the growth on the philanthropic activities are robust and healthy in economic sense, because you cannot force the people to make philanthropic activities, and you will be responsible for the state and administration and in terms of policy making. So I just thought that did we understand the ayat you mentioned? Just a second, please. Yemhakullahu riba ve yurvis sadakat, which means Allah destroys interest and gives increase for charities. So I thought that did we understand, or did we try to understand this holy verse in a wrong sense and fictionalize this in economy in an unhealthy sense, or should it be in the sense that you mentioned?
Yes. Actually, again, what I am saying, take these 2 points together. These are complementary to each other. This is a complete set. Don't take the one part. On the one side, as Hayek is said that there is a market and market is working. So interest rate is a market phenomenon. So we are not working with the market in that sense, because when there is no interest, then there is a joint venture, mudarba, musharaka, these type of things. So there is a partnership among the different economic agents of the society and the community. Then this is the first step, and whatever the ranking of that, what is the according to priority, the first priority is no interest, jamhaqur riba, and then later on, this is the second step. From the priority point of view, this jurbi sadaqas is on the second step. If even then there is no interest, there is a partnership, there is economic activities, but still there are some people are there. So this is the responsibility of the society to help them. And when society is helping, again, as I mentioned in the beginning, philanthropy means art of giving. It's not the art of taking. This is just for a small period of time. You help the people, and then people are using those funds, and they are starting their business, and then they are again able to give the charity. So this is a part of economic activity. But according to priority-wise, the first is there is no interest. There is a joint ventures, and people are sharing with each other, the sharing economy, and then they are participating in the economic activities. But if some people, due to certain reasons, always there are some people are the small segments or the big segment is there, they are not able to participate in the economic activities due to their natural problems and the natural issues. Then this is the responsibility of the society to help them. When society is helping them, then they are becoming the again active member of the society, and so the cycle is going on.
Mahmut Hoca.
Çalışmıyor herhalde. Neyse. Şimdi ekrandaki resmi de dikkate alarak yapmak istiyorum. Bir noktayı tespit etmek isterim. Doğrusu bu ekrandaki resim microfinance kullanıcısı olan birisinin borcunu ödeyemediği için muhatap olduğu sonuç olarak ifade edildi. Yani microfinance uygulamasının geniş bir literatürü var. Yani şeye bakıldığında yoksullar birçok şeyden dışlanmışlardır. Yoksulların en çok dışlanmış olduğu şey finans sektöründe bulunma imkanı, yani bir teminat gösterme olanağından mahrum olmaları nedeniyle en çok dışlandıkları şey finans sektörüdür. Microfinance uygulaması da bir ölçüde yoksulların finans sektörüne ulaşmaları için oluşturulmuş bir kurumsal yapıdır. Dünyada geniş yoksullukla mücadelede kullanılan bir kurumsal kapasiteye ulaşmıştır. Yani şu an 3000 üzerinde kurumsal güce ulaşmış bir yapıdır. Evet, yani faizin halen uygulanan bir mekanizma olarak microfinance'de bir araç olarak kullanılıyor olması bir sorundur. Ama yani bunun alternatifi İslami microfinance uygulamalarına ilişkin bir uygulama alanı ve literatürde bir şey geliştiğini de ifade etmek lazım. Yani burada faizin kötü örneğini mikrofinans üzerinde gösterilmiş olması bir parça bence hani biraz haksızlık olmuyor mu şeyini dillendirmek istedim, ifade etmek isterim bu anlamda. Microfinance'in oluşturmuş olduğu yoksullukla mücadeledeki rolünü hatırladığımızda, yani literatür üzerindeki konumunu ifade etmek üzere. Bir diğer husus, yani bir parça biraz evvel arkadaşımız da ifade etti ama piyasanın önemini sanki göz ardı ediyoruz. Yani piyasayı,
bunu ben de söyleyeceğim.
Doğrusu yani şöyle bir şey ifade etmek lazım. Yani bugün uluslararasındaki zenginliğin en önemli farkının kaynağını açıklayan birçok geniş bir literatür vardır. Bu literatürün içerisinde önemli bir kısmının piyasa ekonomisinin uluslararası zenginlik farkının önemli bir unsuru olduğunu, önemli bir faktörü olduğunu ve yani biz Müslümanların faiz eşittir veya faizin piyasayla olan ilişkisini bunu çok birbirinin vazgeçilmez unsuruymuş gibi ifade edip piyasayı da burada mahkum etmemeye dönük bir duyarlılık içerisinde bir yaklaşım farklılığı ortaya koymamızın önemli olduğunu ifade etmek isterim. Dolayısıyla evet, faiz konusunda bütün dünyanın çok ciddi bir sorunu var. Bütün İslam'ın en eski tarihlerinden bugüne ciddi bir şey var ve bugün de halen faiz konusunda ortaya konmuş olumsuz sonuçlar var. Ama burada faize ilişkin olumsuz sonuçları piyasaya dönük olan cephesini iyi ayırt etmek lazım geldiğini düşünüyorum. Esas itibariyle de İlem'in yapmış olduğu diğer bir çalıştayda da ortaya konduğu üzere yani Müslümanların piyasayla bir sorunu yok. Yani bunu da yani İslam'ın da Müslümanların da piyasayla bir sorunu yok. Belki bu anlamda devlet eksenli bir ekonomik yapıdan daha ziyade piyasa eksenli bir ekonomik yapının İslam'ın daha çok önceleyeceği bir şey oluşturduğunu, bir ekonomik sistem oluşturduğunu ifade etmek isterim. Teşekkür ederim.
Thank you. What we are saying that market, not we are against the market. What we are saying, when market is becoming neutral, when market is dealing each and every person in the same way, when Hayek and his followers, they are saying that there is no need for the intervention from the government, whatever is happening in the business world or in the market. So what we were not saying the market is bad. As Prophet ﷺ, he was also in the favor of market and said the prices are determined by the demand and supply. But whenever there is exploitation, but according to the supporters of the market supporters, they are not in the favor of any intervention from the government or intervention from the society. Even they are not in favor of philanthropy. As Hayek said, there is no social justice. But what you are saying about the social justice is not available anywhere. This is the market, and you have to allow the market to deal each and everything. It is not possible for the market to deal each and everything. Nowadays, you can see that everywhere, even in the Western world, they are saying to the different organization, institution for the corporate social responsibility. So what does it mean? It means this is not a market. For corporate social responsibility, that is not the part of the market. So 100% market is not on the right way or is not correct or not doing the right things. So when we are saying the market means there are some other things are there. There is an intervention from the government as well as the role of the society. Because he is not in the favor of the role of the society, the role of the community and so on.
Peki normal şartlarda bu oturuma ayrılan sürenin de sonuna geldik. Hepinize ilginizden, katkılarınızdan dolayı teşekkür ediyoruz. I thank you all for your contribution.